evening from Chicago, Illinois. Tonight it's Big East basketball from the Wintrust Arena, where the 25th-ranked UConn Huskies hit the road to get the DePaul Blue Demons. With Nick Baugh, I'm Adam Alexander. When you talk about these Huskies, it's all about James Bouknight, but the star, he's missing tonight.
And obviously, it's a big deal. And UConn's leading scorer, you see it 20 points per game. But the good news is UConn's won a game without him. They took down Butler on the road over the weekend, so the confidence has increased with the other Huskies. But there's no doubt scoring void for UConn, so it's all hands on deck for the Huskies. But for DePaul, Charlie Moore is off to a little bit of a slow start. Hasn't been in double figures the last two games, and for DePaul to win consistently, Charlie Moore needs to score consistently. Keep an eye on Moore being aggressive early in this game.
You're telling me DePaul needs more of Moore. Here are the starting lineup, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. And joining Moore in the lineup, Javon Freeman Liberty, the transfer from Valparaiso, at 22 Saturday against Seton Hall. When you look at the lineup for UConn, Tyrese Martin, the guy there to keep an eye on, a double-double when these two teams met a month ago. And missing on this page, but not missing as far as his performance, he's the Big East player of the week off the sidelines, Tyler Polley.
Well, you just look at the numbers of the last two games. 10 of 16 from three. He has come in and been instant offense at that stretch four spot, which creates more space for all the other guards on the perimeter. Polley's been fantastic. Won't be too long till he's inserted into this game and knocking down shots.
10 of 16 from three. That's Nick Baugh-esque right there. There's Charlie Moore, the tip controlled by UConn, who's in their road blues, the home whites for DePaul, and we're underway in the Windy City.
Well, obviously with no Bouknight, I think the ball movement and player movement needs to manufacture the offense. Really got to cut hard, screen, and not rely on Bouknight. Certainly that's a good place to go early, though. Tyrese Martin, a versatile guard that can post up.
Martin, the transfer from Rhode Island, has been really, really good in his early stint in a UConn uniform.
You see already Javon Freeman Liberty, the importance of him being able to enter offense, take some of that ball handling duties off of Charlie Moore's plate. He's going to have to handle it really well.
Here's Moore, a little penetration, bumped out of bounds and draws the foul. And I think this one's going to go against Sanogo. There's Dan Hurley, third season at UConn, 10th year as a head coach at the Division I level.
You know, it's an exciting day for UConn basketball. Be back in the top 25. You know, he said it's a good time for UConn basketball. You know, a few years ago, he said that felt like the program is at a mid-major level, and now they're inside the top 25 and back in the Big East Conference.
And making noise. Only loss so far, that overtime disappointment against Creighton a couple of weeks ago. Missed inside by Polycap, and the rebound put back and a foul as Hall's able to draw it inside.
Some good rebounding from DePaul early, giving UConn a little dose of their own medicine. But you see the rankings. Hard to believe. First time ranked since the 2016 preseason poll.
That foul went on Tyrese Martin, so two early whistles against UConn. And Hall at the free throw line. Darius Hall comes in averaging just over 7 points a game, a transfer from Arkansas in his second season for the Blue Demons. Makes one of two.
A little bit of three-quarter court pressure from DePaul. And the guy handling the rock here, R.J. Cole, he's a guy that scored over 20 points per game at Howard. So he's used to having to score if he needs to. And tonight could be a situation where he needs to with Bouknight not in the equation.
That was Adams handling the ball high right. Junior for UConn, who's in the starting lineup with Bouknight out. Sanogo, the true freshman, had it knocked out of bounds. And you talk about Dave Lato on the sideline for DePaul. Second time around as head coach of the Blue Demons, in trying to continue to build this program back to what it once was.
And it's a tall task where basically had the first month of the season disrupted with COVID, and so still trying to find themselves. Only two on the shot clock here as Whaley's got to hoist one up.
Nothing but air. Charlie Moore the rebound, and here come the Blue Demons in transition. And a quick whistle and a foul, and that's already three personals whistled against UConn. Cole gets this one.
Yeah, Charlie Moore can be a handful. You know, he may be small in stature, but he does a nice job putting pressure on the defense and getting into the lane. And Cole's got ready to slide his feet a little bit better. It's going to be hard to take Charlie Moore's cookies from him when he's handling the rock.
And Weems going to be whistled for the travel. The sophomore out of Detroit looked at the jump shot. The defense recovered, and a turnover for DePaul.
I look at guys like Weems and Hall as really important players tonight, where they can be that stretch four. And when UConn plays big, right now they got Sanogo and Whaley on the floor, not as accustomed to getting out on the perimeter to knock down or to defend through the three-point line.
Here's Adams. Long three, way off the mark. Martin the rebound, but lost it out of bounds. That's where Martin can really hurt you on the offensive glass.
Yeah, he's the leading rebounder for the Huskies, and he's got a knack for just finding the ball. He plays with great physicality. He's a terrific, versatile wing for Dan Hurley.
One thing I noticed early about Moore seems to be a little bit more aggressive in the first couple of minutes of this ball game, something they really need. Not just the scoring and the production, but that overall attitude and demeanor on the floor. Long-range jumper not there for Hall, out of bounds, and it will stay with DePaul, and they're competing on the glass, too.
Well, that's the thing that Dave Lato told us this afternoon, that he needed to see a team match the physicality and sustain the intensity for a full 40 minutes. So far, it hasn't resulted in much on the scoreboard, but I think if you're Dave Lato, you got to be pleased with the effort you've seen, in particular in the rebounding department.
Slow start for both teams. UConn an early 2-1 advantage. Polycap inside, hits the jump hook. Averaging just over 6 a game. The first deuce here, first field goal tonight for DePaul for the transfer out of Manhattan.
I really like how DePaul's attacked the front line from UConn. On the glass, in the post, in the paint.
Shot clock down to 10. That's Cole on penetration, able to draw the foul, and he'll go to the line for a couple of free throws.
You know, Adam, it's always important to have a post guy you can throw the ball into. Not necessarily to get a shot up, but just to play through him, where you can collapse the defense, kick it out. But in that instance, when you're one-on-one in the post, which you'll have one-on-one opportunities in the post against a team like UConn because they're going to be so pressed out, it's nice to get a basket in the paint for a guy like Polycap.
Cole to the free throw line, shoots him at 78%. The personal whistle against Freeman Liberty, his first and the first against DePaul. And this is a team, as you pointed out to me, that's been fouling quite a bit in the early portion of the season.
Way too foul prone. And I think some of that could be a product of they're still finding their conditioning and game shape. And when you're mentally fatigued and you're physically fatigued, oftentimes you foul. And DePaul has done that way too much.
Cole makes a pair. UConn back on top. 4-3 their advantage. 3 minutes in here in Chicago. Nice look inside. Polycap this time had it swatted away, and it goes out of bounds off of 33. Great defense by the freshman Sanogo.
And this is what Sanogo is right now as a player. He's a rebounder, he's a screener, and he's a shot blocker. Plays with great energy, and he doesn't play as much as Carlton or Whaley, but I like that Dan Hurley starts him. I think that gets the freshman confidence and in a good frame of mind right away.
All their post players, though, really good at the rim defensively. Whaley can block shots, the same with a Cook who will be coming off the bench. And what about the move for Martin? He's now got 4 as he connects on the jumper in the lane.
Well, there's no doubt how UConn's built is defensively, rebounding. They're the #1 rebounding team in the Big East. They want to make life difficult in the paint just like that.
Sanogo, another block. This time it was Moore trying to get the basket on penetration. UConn a 6-3 advantage and the ball. Martin going coast to coast. Left it for Whaley, who couldn't pull it in. That's Adams in the lane drawing a foul. The foul going to go against Weems. It will be his first. We're off and rolling in Chicago. Tyrese Martin picking up where he left off the last time when these two teams played. He's got 4. Sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jeep, there's only one. Gorgeous night in the Windy City. UConn on the road leading 6-3. They've been outstanding away from home so far this season. They've been great in this series as well. 13th meeting between the two teams. The Huskies have won 11 of those.
And the fact that they just played each other a little over a week ago, I think the scout is fresh in everybody's mind. But the reality is both these teams have had a disjointed start to the season. And I think both teams are still in the process of settling into rotations and roles and lineups and chemistry. I think UConn's further along than DePaul, but both these teams are still kind of building that right now.
Well, I asked Dan Hurley about getting, back to the NCAA tournament, which is their ultimate goal. He said, we want to get there, but the analytics are hard to really take a look at this year because so many teams are in different situations. We take it day by day.
I don't know how you could assess something like that. I mean, for instance, you look at a team like DePaul, they played one non-conference game. One. They played Western Illinois, so to get a sense of what they look like out of the league is really challenging. You have a team like Villanova who is potentially going to be on pause for the better part of a month. I mean, it's really challenging to figure out exactly how you're stacking all these teams up, but that's just, everybody's going through it. Everybody's dealing with it right now, and I think both these coaches are just focused on trying to be the best versions of themselves. I know that sounds corny, but that's kind of how you have to approach it right now, game to game.
7-3, early lead for the Huskies. And a mishandle inside by Ongenda, who just checked into the lineup. Nick Ongenda, 6'11", sophomore. Cole from deep, and he knocks down the three-pointer, and that could be huge for Coach Hurley and the Huskies if he can get going offensively.
Again, you're talking about a guy that scored over 1,500 points in 2 seasons at Howard. He can score, but I think he's focused more on trying to run the team with a great scorer like Bouknight alongside it. But with Bouknight on the sideline, Cole might have to channel his inner scoring mentality.
He's got 5 to lead all scorers, and a foul here on Sanogo inside on Ongenda, the man who draws the personal. Here he is getting it done from outside the arc.
Well, and it's just a mental mistake for DePaul. Weren't matched up. It almost looked like they were trying to fall back into a 2-3 zone. Either way, you got to communicate who's got to be where, who's matched up with who. You give a guy like Cole an easy rhythm 3.
Ongenda gets the friendly roll. Just came off the bench replacing Polycamp. And we've seen Ongenda in the starting lineup quite a bit this year. A new opportunity for him to come off the sidelines and producing early.
I think the potential's really, really there for a guy like Ongenda. He's just skinny right now. He's not quite there physically, but there's no doubt he provides an above-the-rim threat that can protect the rim, can catch lobs, but UConn's front line is really physical, so I think they wanted to get Polycap in the game at the beginning to establish that physicality.
Yeah, you can see the difference in age between those two just when you look at their body and how they're starting to develop at this stage of their career. Carlton in the lineup wearing 25 for UConn turns it over. Here comes DePaul on the run. Pull up for more. Back ironed out. Great offensive rebound by Freeman Liberty, and then he loses it. Cole leads the way for UConn. Right down the middle. Circus shot, and he got the roll.
And that's how UConn wants to play. They want to turn defense into offense, and that's the identity of this program under Dan Hurley. They want to be super disruptive on this end and make offense easier from that. 7 points
early for R.J. Cole. It's an 8-point lead for UConn. Freeman Liberty. Corner jumper off the mark. 2 missed threes this trip for DePaul. And that opens the door for UConn to run, but nice transition defense here by the Blue Demons to get back.
Again, if you're DePaul, you really got to plug up the lane. With Poly not on the floor, and you got these 2 bigs in Carlton and Whaley, you can really sit in those driving gaps. There should be no reason that there should be any straight line drives if you're DePaul right now defensively.
Adams trying to make it work. Got in no man's land. Baseline jumper as the shot clock winds down, and Whaley's got his first deuce of the night.
Yeah, and I say that Whaley's not a shooter. He's got range to about 15 feet. I mean, he can kind of curl out there into that short corner area and knock it down. He's just not going to stretch you all the way out to the three-point line.
What do you mean he's not a shooter? He's 50% from three-point range. Oh, he's 2 of 4. Oh, nice tip in on his own miss. Freeman Liberty making it happen. This kid has been really, really good.
You just never know how it'll translate from the standpoint of transferring from the mid-major level to the high-major level. At Valparaiso, this guy was a stud. First team All-Valley. And so far, you could tell it's going to translate. He is electric and dynamic as an athlete on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, last 2 years, leading the Missouri Valley Conference in steals is a freshman and sophomore. And that's an impressive thing to be able to do in a very, very good basketball league. And a turnover for UConn. DePaul gets it back. They need more of this.
Again, this guy is athletic. You talk about a guy that finished second in Valley Defensive Player of the Year voting. You cited the steals. And he is a guy at 6'4" that is really athletically a high major player.
Had nearly 1,000 points in his first 2 years at Valparaiso. Went over 1,000 in his career earlier this season in a DePaul uniform. A lot of contact, no foul, turnover. And the breakaway opportunity presented for Jalen Gaffney, the sophomore guard who's into the lineup for Dan Hurley.
You got to be strong against UConn. Trying to split a ball screen like that, being weak with the rock. UConn will take that and go shoot a layup every single time.
Salnave turns it over. That's number 10 in white. Gaffney once again, this time draws the foul, and that's going to be number 2 on number 4, Javon Freeman Liberty, and that's not a good thing when you think about their offense.
Not at all. And again, another turnover leading to a run out, and Gaffney does a good job attacking the rim. But the first order of business when you take on UConn, Adam, is you have to be ready to be a grown man with the basketball. You got to be strong with it. You got to handle it because UConn is coming after you. And you've seen DePaul get a little weak with the rock, and it's allowed UConn to get out in the open floor.
Not even 8 minutes in, and these will be free throw attempts 5 and 6 for UConn, who has taken their advantage to 11, and you feel like it's a little bit of danger zone time for DePaul. You know, back-to-back losses, not feeling great about themselves. Actually lost 3 in a row, and now you get behind against a good opponent. That's tough, and another foul because they're hitting the offensive glass on the side for UConn.
Well, and look at the free throw discrepancy. Free throws made per game. DePaul's averaging about 9. Their opponents are almost making 17 a game. That's a 7-point difference. That could be the difference between winning and losing games. And DePaul's averaging 20 fouls per game. That is a ton. And you've already seen the whistle get blown a ton so far early in this game.
Carlton couldn't finish inside. Moore tries to take advantage. A cook with his first block off the bench. Nice shot fake by Moore. He just cannot get the ball to go in the basket. Ongenda, though, doing an excellent job of keeping it alive. Hall on the baseline. Air ball missed everything. The offensive struggles continue for DePaul. And here's a guy that's had no issue at the offensive end. Tyler Polley into the lineup for the Huskies, the reigning Big East Player of the Week.
And Dan Hurley likes to run sets for Polley because you know he's a good shooter, so he attracts attention. Watch him on a pick and pop here. Getting a little flare, maybe a repick, and you get a moving screen on Carlton.
It's going to be the 5th team foul against UConn, the first on Carlton. Well, UConn has got it going early on, and it's because they're getting it done at the defensive end. You get a steal, you get a run out, and you get the finish. That's R.J. Cole. Welcome back to a little Monday Night Big East Hoops on FS1 with Nick Baugh. I'm Adam Alexander. UConn on the road leading it 17-6. No doubt about it tonight, really throughout the season, Nick, they've been getting it done at the defensive end.
This is what Dan Hurley hangs his hat on. This is the identity of the UConn program. They're a defensive-minded group, and the stats bear that out. They got great individual one-on-one defensive players, and they're starting to round to form with their ability to protect the rim. You see a Cook who's back from that torn Achilles, his second game, but you got bigs in the interior that can protect the rim, and you know what that means, Adam, is when you know you got erasers behind you, you can, as a guard, you can take chances, you can pressure even more, because you know if you get beat, probably going to get the shot blocked at the 10.
That's what Dan Hurley said yesterday, and the reason they love a Cook and having him back, he's such an eraser at the rim, which allows the guards out front to be exactly what you said, aggressive.
Cook averaged 2.5 blocks a game last year. I mean, this is what he does, is impact shots at the 10, but that's a good finish there from DePaul.
Ongenda went right at him, and he's got 3 points, 17-8 our score.
UConn's a different team when Paulie's in the game. They run more action away from the ball. Look at him running off screens. And this is 6'9", coming off staggered screens and pin downs. And what happens is he attracts so much attention that these other Huskies are able to squirt into the lane and make things happen.
It's like he and Martin are transposed a little bit, right? Martin's 6'5", he's the rebounder. Paulie, 6'9", he's the shooter. Shot clock winding down, and that's going to be a turnover. Not sure if they got a foul or a travel, or maybe a shot clock violation. Either way, we're going basketball DePaul.
Really good job knowing personnel. Hall is guarding a Cook. He's not a shooter. So what does he do? He stays in the lane. He doesn't vacate it and go to the three-point line. He sets his feet. He takes a charge. A huge part of being a good defensive player is understanding who you're guarding and what you need to do defensively based on the other team's skill set. Nice job from Hall.
I feel like defensively, DePaul's been good in the half court tonight. They've struggled turning it over and giving up transition opportunities.
He cannot do that against UConn.
Corvassier McCauley into the lineup and unable to draw the foul, but it will stay Blue Demon basketball.
So DePaul's just got to find some rhythm offensively when they get into the half court. I think they've gotten decent shots when they haven't turned the ball over. But the reality is Charlie Moore has got to get himself rolling. It might be tough for someone else to make a shot for him, but he's got to get going.
Salnave needs to get it going. He struggled all season long offensively. Hit a tough jumper there.
He's 2 of 18 from the field heading into this game. It's probably a huge sigh of relief for Salnave to see a shot go through.
Grad transfer from Monmouth, and all of a sudden 4 straight for the home team. It's 17-10 UConn on top.
Salnave doing a good job chasing. Paulie, nice switches.
Gaffney, shot clock going down. Paulie's got to force one up, and this one way off the mark. It's going to hurt the average. 10 of 16 in the last 2 games for the senior out of Florida, and a turnover for DePaul. Salnave travel.
When you feel like the last couple of possessions from DePaul have been their best defensively. They've started to turn up the energy a little bit more. The focus has been there.
See Elvis going out of the lineup. He's going to have to play big minutes tonight with the foul issues they already face with Freeman Liberty. And with him out, number 4 might be back in the ball game playing with 2. That's something we'll follow here.
You know, that's the other thing about figuring out trust from a coach to a player. Can I trust Javon Freeman Liberty to play with 2 fouls? The reality is Dave Lato is still trying to figure that out, so probably not too eager to throw him back out there.
And he's not on the floor right now. Shot clock down to 10. Cole to Martin.
Need help. Got a mouse in the house.
He had 2 quick ones. Can't finish here. But they're going to call goaltending, give him the basket, and he's now got 6.
And Charlie Moore has done a decent job. He's gotten caught on some switches fighting the post. But once that ball goes in, Charlie Moore at 5'10" is no match for the 6'6" Tyrese Martin. That's where there's got to be other Blue Demons collapsing with the mismatch.
Weems the straightaway 3, knocks it home, and that would be huge if he could get going.
No question about it. I think he's arguably the most important Blue Demon in terms of if you're looking at an X factor from scoring the basketball. He has to score, especially with Freeman Liberty on the pine. First
3 of the night. Now 1 for 4 is DePaul, and a foul away from the ball. Looks like they got McCauley. You know, McCauley, an interesting story. Division II transfer. Played the last couple of years at Lincoln Memorial down in Tennessee, originally from Indianapolis, where he went to Manual High School. Gets a little closer to home, and he was a part of a program last year that was one of the best in the country at the Division II level.
And I like that. His Division II team went 32-1, and I think that's something people don't recruit enough of figuring out guys and looking at, did they win?
Whaley for 3. He's now 2 of 5 on the year. Nearly missed everything. Caught a little backboard. More importantly for DePaul, a chance to creep closer. We're down by 11. It's 6. More the fade 3 off the front iron. No good.
But right now, Adam, he's got to do everything himself. Charlie Moore having to create some offense without any help from another Blue Demon. It's all UConn early.
At one point, UConn led on the road against DePaul 17-6, an 11-point advantage. That advantage now trimmed down to a 6-point lead, 19-13 our score. And you and I, Nick, talking during the commercial break, not a lot of flow. The two teams in 12 minutes have combined for 12 turnovers, 11 fouls in this game.
Yeah, not a good flow for this one. And I think a disjointed fist fight favors UConn. I mean, that's kind of what UConn wants. They don't necessarily want to completely turn this into a rock fight, but they're far more comfortable in a game that is lower possessions, a little more physical. DePaul needs to find some rhythm on this end of the floor.
Polycap scored early on a move just like that. That's pretty inside.
Maybe throwing the ball into Polycap might be a decent spot to go. I mean, he's had success one-on-one in the post. Again, with the way UConn pressures out on the perimeter, there's a lot of real estate inside if you throw the ball into the block.
And another turnover for UConn, their 7th of the game. We talk about the shot blockers for DePaul. This is how you counteract that.
You got to go right at it. You know, don't fade away. Takes it right into the chest of Whaley. And Polycap's done a nice job so far scoring in the post. But this guy right here, Charlie Moore, he's 0 for 5. He has to get rolling at him in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's dialing up a special set for him or someone creating a shot for him, gotta get it. Number 11 in white some points.
But if you're Dave Lato and Freeman Liberty is fighting foul trouble and is on the sidelines, Moore is an offer, and you're in it, trailing by 4. You got to feel pretty good with 7 minutes to go in the opening half.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. All things considered, you're thrilled that only be down 4.
Saw another block there from that interior defense of UConn. It stays with the Blue Demons. Only 4 seconds to shoot here.
Watch something from Moore here, potentially.
Weems has got to get it up. Moore hoists one. It draws iron, but they cannot corral the offensive board. The Huskies have it one more time with that 4-point lead. R.J. Cole, the catalyst offensively in the early going. Whaley, the senior, able to lay it off the glass, partially blocked, and here comes DePaul on the run. Transition 3 opportunity won't go down.
So you got to try to find Pauly in the open floor. Got him at the top of the key.
Trailing on the break. In and out. He's 0 for 2.
That's where UConn, I mean, he's red hot last 2 games. I mean, you got to hunt shots for that guy.
Weems already knocked down 1 3 tonight. Make it 2. And it's a 3-point ball game with just over 6 minutes remaining, half number 1.
And Weems is a capable shooter. I mean, he made 36% of his threes last year. He had a big game at Providence a couple of weeks ago.
It's a 1-point game here, 19-18. UConn on top by 1. As they're on an 8-0 scoring run, and this 3 opportunity looked great for Weems.
You talk about a guy that started every game last year. And so he's got experience, and with a roster of a little bit of inexperience and newcomers, a guy like Weems is really important. And he's knocked down a couple of triples here in the early going.
8 straight points. And Weems, a guy that, you know, percentage-wise can knock it in. You just got to get him those chances as you talk about. And one thing that we said early, you can't foul. They've done that. And Cole back to the line where he knocks down the free one. He's now 3 of 3 from the line. He's got 8 points.
It feels like the last handful of minutes, I think DePaul's been much more connected defensively, but you feel the void of Book Night. Somebody can just throw the ball to, and they can go make something happen and create a shot for himself or for a teammate.
The lead will stay at 2. Cole makes 1 of 2. And DePaul now with a chance to tie or take the lead with 5 minutes and change to go in this opening half. Moore lost it, and this is going to be a turnover, over and back. 7 turnovers now for DePaul.
Yeah, these UConn bigs will hard hedge ball screens and try to reroute you and get you up the floor. So you got to be in a stance, ready to handle the basketball. You've seen a couple of turnovers in ball screen situations for the DePaul backcourt players.
Little doubt the Huskies have read the scouting report. Just got to get a hand up when Weems is shooting it. Other than that, they've done a nice job at the defensive end. 16 to shoot, UConn ball out of bounds.
We talk about with book night not being in the equation. Sometimes you got to figure it out on the fly. And Tyrese Martin's had a lot of success when he's had opportunities to score.
Had Carlton, he lost it. Martin there to clean it up with the left hand, cannot finish. Moore caroms the rebound. And when it's in his hand, they can push. Nice look. Ongenda can't finish, but he will go to the line. Carlton going to get the personal for UConn.
That's something DePaul needs to do more of. They need to minimize the amount of times they're going against UConn's set 5 defense in the half court. So the more they can push and probe early in possessions, I think the better success they're going to have. Good play from Moore, drawing 2, dumping it down to Ongenda.
Carlton's now got 2 personals. So does Sonogo, the other big that started tonight for Dan Hurley. And Ongenda unable to connect on the free throw. He's done a good job of being active tonight, but unfortunately not taking advantage. 1 of 3 at the charity stripe. He's got 3 points. And like the last time he was there, he makes 1 of 2, so give him 4. And the advantage for UConn is 1, 20-19.
So many things you can do with Pauly. Running off screens here, cracking him back, get him an open look.
And he knocks it down. First of the night, he's now 1 for 3.
There's no doubt when he's in the game, UConn's offense completely changes. They just do everything for Pauly with screens and different things.
Nice cut by Moore. Elvis found him. First points of the night for Charlie Moore after starting 0 for 6, and it's a 2-point game again.
And sometimes scorers just need to see one go down. Maybe Moore will start to fill it up.
Martin, good look to Adams on the baseline. Ongenda tried to erase it. Carlton there to tip it in.
Talking about the #1 offensive rebounding team in the Big East. And they're long, they're athletic, and they're going for every rebound.
Ongenda couldn't catch it from Elvis. Pauly trying to make something happen in transition. This is Cole dipping inside the arc, left it short.
It's where DePaul's got to push here. The more they can probe, when they're not set, the better.
Weems' 3rd 3 of the night will not go down. Adams finds Pauly. Can he make it 2 in a row? Yes, he can. Ring it up.
What a play from Brendan Adams, though. Knew exactly where his shooter was at. On time, on target delivery. It's amazing what great shooters can do. You make one mistake, and they make you pay.
Pauly's such a good shooter in rhythm. In the last couple of games, he's been shooting it like he's thrown at the ocean, everything going in. Here's Hall, nice crossover and finish.
Well, right now, if you're DePaul, you got to stay attached to Pauly, and if you're UConn, headhunt him, get him free. And what might end up happening is if Pauly's a screener, he could create opportunities because his man doesn't want to help.
UConn up 28-23. 3 minutes to go first half. The lead was 11. DePaul cut it down to 1. You get the sense the next 3 minutes or so, huge for this Blue Demon basketball team. Shot clock just about to expire. Adams the drive. Carlton got it off. Martin kept it alive, but DePaul able to clear. Hall driving. Pull-up is good. They're starting to get a flow offensively, and once again, it's a 3-point game.
But Adam, it was early in the possession. They didn't walk it down and let UConn get their set defense completely locked in and loaded. And Hall's knocked down a couple of mid-range jumpers, but I just think probing early in possessions is important for DePaul.
We show the numbers. UConn's great defensively. Don't let them set up. And here's Martin again breaking your back. He's now got 8 points tonight.
An excellent slip of the down screen from Martin. He was the screener, and he just released to the basket. Good action.
Is Charlie Moore back? I like that.
He can score. I mean, this guy is dynamic with the ball in his hands. He's just not shot it well so far the last 2 games and here in the first half, but got that easy backdoor layup, and all of a sudden that mid-range jumper feels a little bit smoother.
Hey, as he goes, they go. First 2 games of the year in double figures. They beat Western Illinois, nearly went at Providence. Last 2 games, he struggles, as you've talked about offensively, and they get beat in games that you would think maybe are winnable. He is the glue, no question about it. Another opportunity here. They tried to lob to Onginda. This is knocked away. It's another DePaul turnover. Poly 3, and he cannot get the roll. Cole, the offensive rebound, left it short, and a foul going to be called. 1:05 to play in the opening half, and this is the after 4 media timeout. We got a good one going in Chicago. Poly is heating up. He's got 5, and UConn on top, 29-27.
Tyler Poly, the sharpshooter. Keep an eye on him right here, where you're going to get everything flowing to this side of the floor, and his defender starts ball watching. Then you can crack him back to the top of the key, where he can knock down a 3. You go under it, too much space, especially for 6'9", and he knocks down a triple. Dan Hurley giving that dry erase board a workout, dialing up a triple for Tyler Poly.
And there was no question that was a 3-pointer well behind the arc. There was some questions about the one in transition from the left corner. We had originally been told that it was a 2-pointer. It was, in fact, a 3. So to update the score, 30-27. UConn on top by a triple, courtesy of Tyler Poly, who picks up where he left off, shooting it from long range.
He is playing at a high level. And it's not just the points. It's just what he does when he's on the floor offensively in creating scoring opportunities for everybody else. When he's in the game, they are exhausting all options and putting him in screening actions away from the basketball because it attracts so much attention. That guy right there is doing so much for the Huskies.
But think about when Bouknight comes back, he's in the starting lineup. You're bringing Poly off the sidelines. Big opportunities for Dan Hurley as they look to take the next step.
And some people could say, why don't you start Poly? Well, I happen to think it's important to bring a scorer off the bench. I think it's always nice to pack some scoring punch when you go to your second unit.
3-point opportunity is good. This is Hall who connects from deep, and it's a 1-point game. Blue Demons hanging in, and it doesn't look like UConn's going to hustle and go 2 for 1, and now a foul. Timeout going to be whistled, I believe, here. I thought at first they called a foul. It's going to be a timeout for UConn. And coming up on the Jeep halftime report, adjusting after losing a star player, we will discuss, plus a look back at our first half stats and analysis on what has been a very entertaining first 20 minutes. We mentioned about 7 minutes to go, not much flow. We're starting to find it now. This has been fun.
And DePaul and Dave Lato, they got to be thrilled, all things considered, where Javon Freeman-Liberty has been sidelined with 2 personal fouls. Charlie Moore got off to a 0 for 6 start shooting the basketball, and yet they only find themselves down 1 with 36 seconds left. And you've turned the ball over 9 times. So there's a lot in there that you would think the score would be different.
They led 3-2 at the 17:05 mark, did DePaul. After that, UConn went on a huge run, and we said, whoa, 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 this thing could get away from the Blue Demons. That not the case, and they find themselves right in it here, and who knows, maybe could reclaim the lead before we go to the halftime break. About a 13-second difference here between the shot clock and game clock. UConn ball. With under 10 to shoot. He finds Martin, who's got to trigger one from long range. No good. Cole, the offensive rebound. They can reset for the final shot of the half, and they will. Gaffney wisely backs it out. Drive for Gaffney to Martin. Left-hand finish, will not go. Got his own rebound, and before the horn, a foul. And despite the fact that time has expired, I think Martin's going to get a couple of free ones here.
I think he got fouled right at the end. There's a good basket cut from the weak side from Martin. And he's able to hustle for the rebound. And watch as he goes back up. Take a look at the official down here when he raises his hand. Is there time on the clock?
And
that's
I
really
think
close.
as it went up, I almost felt like we had hit 0. Polycap going to be the one that gets the foul if, in fact, they determine there will be a personal here. No question. I think the contact happened before the whistle.
Right, but
we'll just see how they. Yep.
When it's called, I thought in real time that the foul happened before the horn, but watching the replay, it looks like it was after the clock struck 0, and they just said no foul.
DePaul dodges a bullet there, playing good defense, couldn't get the rebound, but they stay at that 1-point deficit at the break. UConn led by as many as 11. Their advantage at halftime, 31-30 over DePaul. Coming up next, the Jeep halftime report from Chicago. Stay with us on FS1.
Welcome to the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime release.
Into 2021, but this is a true 2020 moment. Let's go back and look at the replay. Final play of the opening half, Nick.
Yeah, and trying to figure out if the foul occurred before the clock struck 0. And you look in the middle of the floor, Tyrese Martin getting fouled by Polycap. They've looked at the monitor, they've checked the replay, they've checked the time, and they've put .3 back on the clock, and Tyrese Martin is going to go to the free throw line. Take another look at it. Again, I thought live it looked like the foul occurred before the horn went and time expired. But certainly this is why you have replay to look at it and check.
You know, it's interesting. In a late game situation, if you're a coach and you're calling a timeout, or you know, it's always when that official's arm goes in the air. This situation, though, so difficult because it's a no-brainer. The contact is happening with time on the clock, and so you allow for the official's delayed reaction to make that call. I feel like at the end of the day, and if you're a DePaul fan, you don't like this. I feel like, though, at the end of the day, they got this right. What do you think?
I don't think there's any question that the actual foul occurred with time on the clock.
Absolutely.
0.3 seconds left. There's no question. Do I think the whistle and the foul was called before time expired? I don't.
No debate. No debate on that. Absolutely.
So it's this is a unique situation here, and Tyrese Martin could find himself getting into double figures. You know, in a game like this could end up making a big difference.
You know, Dave Lato's such a laid-back guy, right? And I mean, he's going to handle it in the proper way. Doesn't appear frustrated, although we went to break for halftime, and we were watching Dan Hurley stand out and talk to officials, and the three officials were huddled up discussing the situation. This is unique and not one I've seen. Martin does make both. You said it. He's in double figures. And now 3/10 for DePaul, who trails it 33-30, and Dave Lato going to call it the timeout. Why not? What else have we got to do tonight? Let's extend the halftime period, right?
See if they can drop something, throw it the length of the floor, maybe draw a foul.
I got to say, though, across the board, when you think about where they've been the last couple of games and the on-pause and all the delays that this DePaul program has been through, all the new faces, the number of excuses that they could make, they haven't done that. And tonight, they fall behind early, and they're rallying. Here you see the results. It's been a little bit of a downhill slide ever since they opened up with that victory over Western Illinois. What they've done here in the second half of this first 20 minutes has really been impressive.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, they spent more time in quarantine than on the practice floor for the whole month of November and December, and that's really, really challenging. Basketball's a game of rhythm. You got to be in shape, and you got to build that chemistry with your teammates, and they just weren't afforded that. And so they're trying to do all those things on the fly. And I'd imagine they haven't worked on a bunch of these special situations. You know, something's got to give with your limited practice time. Your .3 play may not be there, so we'll see what Dave Lato draws up.
I like Romeo Weems, big kid, go up and get it, and he's one of the best shooters. And they inbound to Elvis, and he's going to let time expire as he heaves one at the buzzer. So we've officially played the first 20 minutes. It's halftime in Chicago. UConn leading DePaul 33-30. And the Big East Player of the Week, Tyler Polley, getting it done again. second half in the Windy City. UConn leading on the road against DePaul. 33-30 our score after 20 minutes. Let's look at the highlights. It was all Huskies early, Nick.
Yeah, Tyler Pauly came off the bench, knocked down a couple of threes, staying hot. He's been fantastic the last two games. And Tyrese Martin, the only player in double figures, 10 points, nice little slip screen. He had a great first half. And then DePaul, they needed the wings to step up because Charlie Moore and Javon Freeman-Liberty struggled to score the ball. Romeo Weems knocking down a triple, and then Darius Hall led the way for DePaul with 8 points. Did a good job getting to the mid-range and hanging in there with UConn.
And now we get our first half stats, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. What do you see here?
Well, the first thing that jumps out at me is, DePaul did a good job rebounding the basketball. Obviously won the battle on the boards against the top rebounding team in the Big East, 23-15, but turned the ball over 9 times. Got to do a better job taking care of the rock if you're DePaul.
And, of course, UConn playing without their superstar, the leading scorer, James Bouknight. They're getting it done in his absence, 2 guys in particular.
Yeah, you're talking about a 20 points per game void that needs to be filled. And R.J. Cole, he averaged 21 points per game at Howard. He can score. And then Tyrese Martin doing a nice job being physical and being efficient, getting 10 points in that first half.
You're not going to give the header on the graphic, ballin' without Bouknight?
I like that. I like that a lot.
UConn's doing it. Hey, think about this. You win tonight. You played basically 2.5 games on the road trip without your superstar. You go 3-0. You're 7-1, 4-1 in league play. They got to be feeling good if they can escape Chicago.
Well, you think about the growth. The one loss that UConn had was against Creighton, and Bouknight had 40. And you probably watched that game and said, they're just a one-man show. Watch the last couple games and tell me this team's a one-man show. I don't think so. It's a good point, Adam. I mean, to basically have 2.5 games where Bouknight doesn't really do much for you, and you might come away 3-0 is impressive.
Lob to start the second half, and a foul going to be called on Whaley as they tried to get it over the top to Polycat.
Good set play out of the halftime break. Little ball screen, a little slip, a little lob, drawing a foul. Polycap was pretty productive in spurts in the first half.
That was not on the shot. It was on the catch, and so it'll be Blue Demon ball out of bounds.
And Javon Freeman-Liberty with the ball was in foul trouble. Only played 8 minutes in the first half. He has to put his fingerprints on this game, so he's got to find a way to get into a flow.
At 22 here Saturday against Seton Hall, so you know he can put it in the basket and right on cue. But this one way off the mark, and behind the defense is Whaley, who catches, gathers, and has a deuce.
Boy, DePaul's just made a handful of mental mistakes. Just pretty elementary stuff. Communicating, getting sorted out, or just sprinting back on defense.
You hate turnovers, missed opportunities, but when they lead the runouts, it's like double trouble, and the layup is good here to make it a 3-point game again.
Again, with this lineup for UConn, you've got 2 bigs on the floor, Sunogo and Whaley. You can really plug up the lane if you're DePaul. Help on penetration and any post-ups because you don't have as good a 3-point shooting on the floor.
This is R.J. Cole, the transfer from Howard. 8 opening half points, misses here, leading to an opportunity for DePaul. Freeman-Liberty can go to the rack, high off the glass, and he knocks it home. It's a 1-point game.
Well, there's a non-negotiable level of athleticism that you must possess to score at the rim against UConn. And guess what? Freeman-Liberty has it.
If I'm playing defense, I say that's not fair. You're not allowed to make those. Adams wearing 10. Brendan Adams into the starting lineup with Bouknight out, turns it over. Here comes Weems. Tried to draw a cheap foul in transition and puts it into the hands of Moore, who runs the offense. Hall to Polycat. How good is he be with the right hand tonight?
Yeah, that little right-hand jump hook has served him well. He's 3 for 3 on those little jump hooks right at the rim.
6-0 run, and DePaul has their first lead since we were 2.5 minutes into this thing.
But you see Freeman-Liberty gets a layup. He got the steal that led to the run out as well. So his impact, you can feel it already.
He's a catalyst. Whaley nearly turned it over and does.
Another steal.
The lob, and the lay-in is good for Hall. The assist assist to Moore. It's an 8-0 run for the Blue Demons, and they have their largest lead of the night at 38-35.
Javon Freeman Liberty doing an outstanding job getting involved early. He got a layup, but defensively creates the steal and gets the run out, and you get the lob dunk. How about the Blue Demons on a run?
This one College Hoop, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jeep, there's only one. Early run for DePaul in the second half. They lead at home, 38-35 over 25th ranked UConn. They're getting it done out of the gates here in half number 2.
Well, this guy right here, Javon Freeman Liberty, was in foul trouble, and he's come in and made an impact. See the layup? And then Polycap with the little jump hook, and then a little showtime in Chicago. The lob for Darius Hall. And it has been all DePaul here in the second stanza.
I don't challenge guys that can run at the rim, but if you're Hall's teammate, do you say, come on, man, that's a struggle dunk? I mean, it was a nice finish, but
I do not have the credibility to. I can critique people that throw lobs, because that was what I did. I didn't catch any lobs. Come on, Adam.
I can touch the net, Nick. You know,
okay,
I can get
there
up
we
on
go.
the net.
Yeah.
3-point lead, largest of the night for DePaul. In fact, they led early and hadn't led again until the early minutes here of half number 2. Dan Hurley gets the quick timeout. We'll see if it settles down the Huskies.
Well, how long does Dan Hurley go with Tyler Pauly on the bench? It made one substitution, got Carlton into the game, but I think the sooner you can get Pauly onto the floor, the better.
Martin, who was in double figures in the first half, lost the ball here. You see his reaction. He wants a foul, didn't get it, and UConn turns it over. 10 turnovers tonight for the Huskies. It's been a problem.
You can just tell when DePaul plays with energy, you can feel it and you can hear it. You can hear their bench, and the harder they play, the better they've played. And so far, they've played harder than UConn's to start this second half.
Hall nearly turned it over, and he does. Nice job by Carlton to play the passing lane.
Boy, almost got away with a travel. Whaley.
Cole on the slip. Whaley got it. Adams wide open for a 3. Got his own rebound, and he finishes one-point game.
Polycap was leaking after he contested the 3. You got to get back in the fight, because the long shot came right where Polycap would have been. And instead, UConn collects the loose change and gets 2.
Especially if you're a big guy.
Yes.
At the defensive end against this team who loves to go to the offensive glass. There's Polycap in the post. Nice fake, couldn't finish, but he draws the foul and a lot of contact as Carlton fell on top of him. Hopefully everybody is okay. We've reached the under 16 timeout. It's DePaul leading by 1. Thursday, Big Ten favorites face off on FS1. Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans battle Player of the Year frontrunner Luka Garza, number 5 Iowa, in one of the most anticipated conference games all season. That's Thursday, 9 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Nick, you're on the call with Adam Amin. You're working with all the Adams.
That's
this
it.
week.
I'm on an Adam tour this week, and I can't wait. Going to be inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. That's a heavyweight match right there. Tom Izzo, the rough, rugged front line, trying to slow down Luka Garza. It's going to be fantastic.
Is Garza your Player of the Year as we sit in mid-January? Boy, I put you on the spot, didn't I?
Hard to go against it with, he's worn the target and he's scoring the ball to high clip and Iowa's winning. But, man, you take your pick from one of those Gonzaga studs, whether you want to go with Kispert or Timmy. You just put those 3 guys, draw them out of a hat. There's your Player of the Year. But I lean Garza.
Those are 2 teams, talking about Iowa, Gonzaga, I'd love to see in the Final Four this year.
Yes, absolutely.
Polycap having a good game, 7 points. Got the start tonight, trying to make it 8. And extend that Blue Demon lead back to 3. Missed that one.
Well, UConn and Dan Hurley staying big. They're staying with Whaley and Carlton at the 4 and the 5. And so if you're going to stay big, you better win the battle in the paint and on the boards.
And they got beat on the glass in the opening half, 23-15, something we'll continue to watch. 2-point advantage, shot clock under 10. Adams on the drive, nice lead for Carlton, who bobbled. And driving is Martin. He's going to be whistled for the offensive foul. You know, Polycap's doing it at both ends right now.
There's no question about it, but the lane is so congested right now. There's so many bodies in the paint, and it's a good job by Polycap to come off his man, set his feet, take a charge. He has really made a big impact, and kudos to Dave Lato for calling his name to get him started in this game, because he has done a nice job.
You never know where it's going to come from, especially this early in the season with so few games having been played. Great contribution tonight from the senior transfer. This guy's been pretty good, too. Working inside his wings, couldn't finish with the left hand. Offensive rebound, that's more.
See, that's why you play big. You know, that's why you play the two bigs, because you can protect the rim, look like a for sure layup, but instead you alter it, and you're able to stay clean defensively. So there's a little give and take right here for Dan Hurley with your lineups on the front line.
Whaley gets it inside and draws the foul. I believe Moore got him reaching in. No free throws here. In fact, that's going to be the first foul this second half on DePaul.
Whatever DePaul's plan is, where they've gotten more switched on to some of these bigs, they need to scrap that. And that's just a tough spot for Moore to battle in against some of these bigger guys, and Moore will take a seat right now.
DePaul by 2, and mark this down. Poly is back in the game. Let's see what they do to about the 10-minute mark if UConn can cut into this Blue Demon advantage.
Just a lot more real estate on the floor here. You still got the two bigs in, so you basically got Poly at the 3. So it's an unconventional lineup, but that's kind of how it has to be with Bouknight on the bench.
Great drive by Martin. Second chance opportunity not there. Nice save on the baseline as Freeman Liberty does the toe tap. And here comes Elvis. Freeman Liberty loves to drive with that right hand, and once again the big fella's inside, making it difficult to operate. And a UConn turnover.
But you said it. Freeman Liberty had a mismatch, drove, but Whaley was able to block it. Take another look at it as, it looks like it hit R.J. Cole's shoe and went out of bounds. Good hands from Romeo Weems, but there's just a lot of interesting matchups on the floor with Pauly, Carlton, and Whaley in the front line. It creates some interesting matchups on this end.
Saw the graphics. 5 turnovers this half on the Huskies. Haven't even played 7 minutes.
Weems has opportunities here with Whaley guarding him.
Yeah, he's got that quickness. Can't get by. I like this matchup. You got Hall and Pauly. Hall's turnaround left it short.
Everything at the rim contested.
Pauly, the shot fake, creates space and knocks it down. That's his 3rd triple of the night.
He gets a lot of threes in transition. UConn does an excellent job of finding him in the open floor. So conversely, DePaul, if there's one, you got to stop the basketball, then you better find Tyler Pauly and make sure you're matched up with him.
And a steal out front. And great hustle despite losing it out of bounds by Whaley. And he's attacked by the bench.
Adam, when UConn gets in the open floor and Tyler Pauly's playing, they are hunting shots for him. This is his 2nd 3 he's made in transition. Good little head and shoulder fake. But then how about Isaiah Whaley? You know, it's interesting. Dan Hurley a week ago said he thought Whaley's energy was greatly impacted by no crowd. He didn't think he was playing hard enough. So what did he dial up? He dialed up some pregame AC/DC for him to try and get him riled up and get that energy right. So he needs maybe just some hard rock for him to be a hard-rocking dude out there.
Hey, you know, the young kids may take Dan Hurley and UConn to the promised land, especially when you look at James Bouknight as a sophomore. But the seniors are truly laying the foundation. Pauly and Whaley and Carlton. And here's a whistle going to be called out front. Looks like they got Carlton.
Now, with the veteran guys, although they haven't tasted the NCAA tournament, they understand what things are supposed to look like. And sure, Bouknight's the superstar, but they need some of those veteran guys to be really, really steady.
5 wins in a row to end last year, the hot start this season. They expect to win now. Air ball for Freeman Liberty, and he's just really not been able to get it going offensively tonight.
No. And that can happen. It's one of the frustrating things. I've been there as a player. Foul trouble just murders your offensive rhythm. It's hard to find it when you're sitting there on the sideline. And so he's done a good job making an impact defensively here, and he's got to trust that the offense will come.
Momentum kind of hanging in the balance. Early all UConn. DePaul makes the rally late first half, early second half. Huskies by 1 as we near the 12-minute mark. Who will take advantage down the stretch? Gaffney, the sophomore point guard, nearly turned it over. Martin finds Whaley, who beat the shot clock, but cannot hit the shot. Ogenda the outlet. Here comes Weems, and he traveled with it.
I like the idea, though. DePaul pushing it early in the possession when that set 5 doesn't get totally locked in defensively. Yeah, 1 too many steps for Romeo Weems. And oftentimes, when you're concerned about the shot blocker, other things fade a little bit. Footwork, you shuffle your feet. DePaul's thinking about those UConn frontline shot blockers.
12 minutes to play from Chicago. UConn leading on the road 40-39, led by 11 in the first half, 3 at halftime. They've trailed on a couple of occasions here in half number 2. Shot clock to 5. Whaley flashes and hits the 17-footer. I don't think he called bank.
But it counts 2 points all the same. Job by Whaley, though, to flash looking to score.
We got 6 points, couple of blocks, couple of rebounds. UConn's lead is 3. Salnave trying to answer, and he does. That is huge for Dave Lato if he can get going offensively, and we're all tied at 42.
And you talk about a guy that was 0 for 9 from 3 heading into this game, but he's a capable shooter. Huge to get one to go down.
Starting to find some other guys at the offensive end if you're DePaul. Great cut, great pass, and a foul. Martin going to the line when we come back. DePaul hanging in at home. We're all tied at 42 thanks to the sharp shooting of Salnave in the corner. Family and everyone at UConn, and when we talked to the 2 head coaches competing tonight, they both had wonderful things to say about Coach Rowe.
Yes, absolutely. Coach Hurley's gotten to know Coach Rowe, and then Dave Lato was an assistant coach at UConn, so certainly got to know Coach Rowe incredibly well, and was very influential in terms of laying that foundation for UConn men's and women's basketball. He was very influential in convincing Jim Calhoun and Gino Auriemma to come to Storrs, Connecticut. So, yeah, his impact, tremendous.
You say, where would they be without a guy like Calhoun, Auriemma? And then you say, where would they be without D. Rowe? Because, as you said, he laid the foundation.
Absolutely.
First of 2 free throws. Good for Martin. And the lead is 1 for the Huskies. DePaul trying to reclaim the top spot with 11 minutes to go.
Just neither team's found great rhythm offensively.
I go back to what you said. DePaul has been at their best at the offensive end when they're creating that on the push. They get in a half-court situation. It's been tough. Maybe that changes here. A no-go as Elvis is way off on the 3. Alley-oop in transition and too tall for Martin. Another Husky turnover, and that will be their 14th of the night.
But you bring up DePaul pushing it early in possessions. It is important. I mean, UConn's elite when they get in the half court defensively, and the numbers bear that out.
Salnave contributing big time offensively tonight. Foul underneath, and they're going to get Sanogo holding Ogenda, I believe.
And Ogenda did a nice job rolling and posting hard. And the freshman Sanogo got a little too physical with Ogenda.
Combined 1.5 year experience for those two, but playing like you should in the post in a Big East game. Absolutely. Battling and giving it back and forth. The drive for Moore. Missed it. Ogenda there to put it back up and in.
Well, that's something that DePaul could get. UConn's coming to block shots. So what does that leave? Rotation rebounding opportunities for these other Blue Demons. Charlie Moore and these guards got to continue to attack and get it up off the rim, because I think there's going to be second chance opportunities for DePaul.
Ogenda 6 points. 7 rebounds off the bench tonight for Coach Dave Lato. 1-point Blue Demon lead. Cole Gooden, the first half, draws a foul here, and that will be the 3rd of the half on DePaul.
It's good to see Salnave have a better game offensively. It looks like he's going to go take a seat now, but watching Ray Salnave and shoot around, loud voice, very good leader, and with a bunch of newcomers. And the reality is Charlie Moore's a more quiet, reserved guy. They need a guy like Salnave's leadership.
Yeah, transfer from Monmouth, and even though he's a senior, you never know how he's going to fit in, how aggressive he's going to want to be in that leadership role. Certainly helping out, even though he didn't get the start tonight. Missed 3, and look who puts it back up and in. It's Tyler Polley, not known for his work on the glass, finishing inside here, and he's now in the ball game, got 11.
So one area that Dan Hurley wanted to see some improvement from Polley was on the rebounding department.
McCauley on the drive, turned it over. UConn the lead and the ball. Polley in transition, this time off the front iron. Freeman Liberty the rebound. Moore wanted to push, creates his own shot, and he rips it from long range.
Really good, just snaking through the floor and finding an opportunity for a jump shot. It's been tough sledding when you've driven to the basket and finishing. So he goes and hunts a 3. If DePaul's going to win this game, Charlie Moore has to score at a high clip for the final 8.5 minutes.
He's got 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, and his team back on top by a deuce as we near the after 8 timeout. Shot clock down to 5. Whaley backing in, tips in his own miss, and we're all knotted at 47.
That's just all strength. Whaley's the stronger player, so he's able to displace Ongenda and clean up his missed layup. It's a physical game right now.
Who takes over down the stretch? Near turnover. Gaffney can't hang on to the cross-court pass from Moore. It will stay with DePaul. Shot clock at 12.
You can tell UConn has DePaul uncomfortable in the half court with contesting and altering shots at the rim, hands on ball handlers as they're driving to the basket. It's got DePaul a little sped up, a little out of sorts.
It was 33-30 at halftime. It's been a slow-moving game offensively in the second half. The floater is good from Freeman Liberty. That's the second incredible shot he's hit in the second half. DePaul back on top by 2. Long 3 off the heel won't go. Here's Freeman Liberty with the rebound. That's what you like about him. He can rebound it, and he can push it.
3 seconds in the lane. Polycap got caught in there, posting for too long.
So the turnover gives it back to UConn. Huskies trail it by 2. 49-47 our score. And a guy that was preseason all Big East starting to get it going. Charlie Moore has 9, and his team trying to win in conference play for the first time tonight. We're ready for the stretch run in Chicago at the Wintrust Arena, where DePaul is leading at home, 49-47 over 25th-ranked UConn with Nick Baugh. I'm Adam Alexander. You know, UConn in Chicago playing a Big East game for the first time in a number of years. It's been a while since DePaul knocked them off. 2007, their only victory.
Hard to believe it's been that long. And you look at DePaul and the building of their program. Last year, DePaul was 12-1 in the non-conference, and they had a great start of the season. Beat Texas Tech, Iowa, Minnesota, Northwestern, and then they lost a few games early in conference play, and they lost their confidence. And these kinds of moments early in a season are huge for your mental approach and confidence in expecting to win games moving forward. So it's a very important final 7.5 minutes for the DePaul Blue Demons.
I'm going to tell you, the after 8 timeout and on, and just basically any league in America is where you win probably 80% of the games, because that's how tight it is. Everybody is so familiar with their opponent. And a turnover here as Hall walked with it, trying to create some space in transition.
And DePaul just is uncomfortable with with UConn's athletes on the floor, handling the ball, driving to the basket. They're just looking over their shoulder for a Husky coming after them.
Just wonder who the catalyst is going to be down the stretch for both these teams. Bouknight, leading scorer for UConn, out with that elbow injury. One of the guys that's picked it up offensively has been Tyrese Martin, but he can't finish here after 10 points in the first half, only 1 here in the second half. And the Blue Demons maintain that 2-point advantage as we head toward 6.5 minutes remaining.
But you're right, Adam. You get the sense both teams are searching for their stud to lead them in this final 6.5 minutes. James Bouknight out again with the elbow injury, so he's not available for UConn. And down the stretch, so often it's individual players leading the way. Who's going to step up on both sides?
Whaley nearly stole it before knocking it out of bounds. He does force the turnover here, and Paulie is going to get fouled. I'll tell you what, Whaley, he may not be the guy to go to offensively, but he's making some things happen at the defensive end.
He's done a nice job hedging ball screens and getting his hand on the basketball. He's got good hands for a player with size, playing with energy. As you take a look at James Bouknight, again, 20 points per game, leading scorer in the Big East Conference, not available. So someone's got to step up for UConn and make some plays offensively.
That was the 3rd foul on Polycap. They get a reach here as Martin's trying to drive it. Team foul number 5 on the Blue Demons, so nobody's shooting free throws yet.
Got a little John going on between Tyrese Martin and Polycap. This has been a physical game in this second half.
Technical foul, 33 White, offset, ball's underneath.
And there you hear it from the official. Polycap gets the technical foul. And I think I heard him say, and I don't know for sure it was him, but I thought I heard him say, I didn't say anything. And then I heard the official say, I don't want to hear anything else.
See, if there might have been 2 technical fouls. A double T.
It was, yeah. That's why there's no free throws here. I didn't get the other number, though.
I think it was Tyrese Martin.
Yep, there you go. And Martin loses out of bounds here. He wants a foul, and it goes back to DePaul. And, now we're starting to muddy it up. This is starting to look like conference basketball with near 5 minutes left.
But you can tell the last couple of plays, Dan Hurley has tried to get the ball to Tyrese Martin in the post, at the high post there on a baseline out of bounds. So some confidence in Martin to be the closer.
14th turnover for DePaul, making 18 turnovers on DePaul. And in transition, Martin able to draw the foul this time, and he'll head to the charity stripe.
Just another careless turnover for DePaul as Tyrese Martin does a good job knifing his way to the basket. Polycap gets called for the block.
And that's now 4 on him. And he's been a guy that they've been able to isolate in the post at the offensive end, not to mention what he brings defensively and on the glass.
Well, that's it. He's their most physical live body. And you need some hard-rocking dudes to bang with Whaley and all the different UConn bigs. And so his foul situation is important. The thing that you now have to, if you're Dave Lato, tell your group is it's got to be a gang rebounding effort. All 5 guys coming into the glass, nobody leaking out. You can't rely on Polycap now to hit everybody. It's got to be all the Blue Demons rebounding the rock.
And to confirm, that is now 5 on him because of the technical foul. The technical does count as a personal, so Polycap is now done. This is not a managing minutes situation. This is you have to play without him the rest of the way. And a huge break here for DePaul as Martin misses both free throws, and free throw shooting has been a bit of a problem for UConn tonight. Now 9 of 15. Freeman Liberty on the drive, scoops it up and in. He has got 6 in the second half, 8 in the game, and DePaul now leads 51-47. This will match their largest lead of the game.
Well, I think Freeman Liberty's had the most success driving the ball to the basket for DePaul.
He gets it going right, and he's almost unstoppable. Cole for an answer in the corner. That's a huge three-point basket.
There was a lot of white jerseys collapsing on that penetration from Tyrese Martin. Great job by Martin being under control and seeing the kick out.
Cole in double figures with 11. Averaged over 20 points a game. His 2 years at Howard, transferred, sat out last year, and now trying to make it happen for the UConn Huskies. Turnover, opportunity at the rim, converted by Martin, and UConn now leads it one more time, 52-51.
Everything's going through Tyrese Martin right now for UConn.
Dave Lato timeout. 4:37 to go, and the Huskies starting to pick it up at both ends.
Well, how about Tyrese Martin making plays for his teammates, and then a little defense to offense for the Huskies to take the lead.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But not for your clients. That's why we're a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first.
So what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios?
Nope. We tailor portfolios to our clients' needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right?
We don't have those.
So what's in it for you?
Our fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Couple of transfers stepping up big for Dan Hurley. They lead at 52-51. They trailed by 5 just a moment ago. And R.J. Cole from the corner.
It's a great play from Tyrese Martin, and Cole knocks it down, and then Martin's able to finish off of a turnover. And it's pretty clear the last couple of minutes where Dan Hurley wants the ball. It's with that guy. It's with Tyrese Martin. He wants him making decisions, attacking and making plays. And they were looking at his foot. So I think he's taking a seat now. I don't know if they're going to retape his ankle or what they're going to do, but he'll take a seat. They're going to come back in with him.
I mean, a good thing here, we're at 4:37. We get the after 4 media timeout, you know, maybe at the next dead ball. Who knows? We'll see if we get under 4 minutes, right? But they won't lose him for long. You get some time maybe with that next break to tape up that ankle if you need to. Freeman Liberty. Great look on Gindy inside with a slam.
Oh, what a pass from Javon Freeman Liberty. Great feel and anticipation of where his teammate was at.
DePaul has picked it up offensively. Making their last 5 shots, they lead by 1.
You can't step off Tyler Pauly if you're DePaul here.
They've extended that defense. Cole, Pauly, the pump fake, the 3, off the mark, and the rebound to Hall. You see Charlie Moore coming there, say slow it down and let me have it.
There's 2 guys that have to make the decisions. It's Moore and Javon Freeman Liberty for DePaul right now.
Moore stepped it up, back-to-back games. He's been unable to reach double figures. He's got 9 tonight. Hall on the drive, under 10 to shoot. Missed it badly, and Whaley gets the rebound. Cole looking to push it up. Here's Pauly. Adams driving from the corner, draws the foul, and will go to the line.
Good push and attack early in the possession. And DePaul searching for that first conference win. Nice dime from Javon Freeman Liberty, and Ongenda throws it down. We got a good finish here in Chi-Town.
It's never easy on the road in conference play, and that's certainly been the case tonight for 25th-ranked UConn. Huskies looking for their 3rd consecutive road victory, their 4th overall, but they trailed DePaul 53-52. What do the numbers say, Nick Baugh?
Well, it shows you how evenly matched this game has been, and the score kind of bears that out. Certainly the 18 turnovers are problematic for DePaul, but they've offset that by rebounding the ball at a pretty good clip, battling the top rebounding team in the Big East. As you take a look at the game reset, this has been a classic Big East physical grinder of a game.
If you weren't with us from the beginning, UConn came out strong, led by 11, 17-6. You think about DePaul's lost 3 in a row, the hot streak by the Huskies, and we're worried about where is this one going to go. But the Blue Demons found themselves, got their legs under them, and here we are, a tight one with under 4 minutes to play.
And can UConn find another victory with James Bouknight, their superstar, sidelined for the second game in a row with the elbow injury. They won at Butler over the weekend. Would be pretty impressive to see 2 conference wins without your superstar if you're Dan Hurley's crew.
Pair of free throws for Adams, who makes the first. He's 2 for 3 on the night, and a chance to put UConn back on top, and he does not.
Right now, Adam, if you're DePaul, when you get into the lane, 2-foot jump stop, be strong, be under control. Made some poor decisions and another turnover.
And this one, a live ball turnover that leads to an opportunity, and what a block by Freeman Liberty, and it goes out off Adams. That's what you call correcting your mistake.
No doubt about it. Righting your wrong here. If you're Javon Freeman Liberty, this is a winning basketball play. Sprinting back, not only blocking the shot, but regaining possession. Wow.
That looked like DK Metcalf on Buda Baker, didn't it, huh? You will not get to the end zone. Tie ball game, we've gone under 3 to play. And more, you just don't see that very often.
They're just so sped up by UConn. I mean, UConn's physicality, they're constantly on you. There on the catch. R.J. Cole sliding his feet. Charlie Moore loses his balance. UConn's half-court defense is just so disruptive.
DePaul's turned it over 20 times tonight. 4 of those by Charlie Moore. Here's your guy Martin spinning in the lane and drawing the foul. And he'll get 2 out of this. That's the good news. He draws the foul. Bad news is he has not been great from the line tonight. 3 of 6.
This is just an elbow isolation where you can go to work. And even though there's guys in the driving lanes, he's able to spin and hit a seam. Again, you wondered where would UConn go with the basketball without Bouknight late in the game. They have gone to the Rhode Island transfer, Tyrese Martin, almost every play for the final 6 minutes or so here.
Now 3 of 7. You know, as a team, UConn 10 of 19 from the charity stripe. And if they leave Chicago with their second conference loss, they will no doubt look at free throw shooting as one of the reasons why. 1 of 2. And in the ball game now, Martin has 14 to lead his ball club. Freeman Liberty jumper. Hit the deck, no foul called, and the foul going to be whistled against DePaul on the rebound.
Run here! Run here!
Pretty good block out from UConn. Checking out late in the game on the line. Now Tyler Paulo would go to the free throw line. But you can see Javon Freeman Liberty settling for a jump shot because DePaul isn't too eager to want to drive into the teeth of the UConn defense. There's shot blockers. There's guys that are disruptive and getting deflections. It deters you from what you want to do.
Polly, great three-point shooter, good free throw shooter as well. Came in at 89%, but misses the first one here. Big East Player of the Week, senior out of Florida, is Tyler Polly. 11 points tonight. And he makes the second to put the Huskies on top 55-53.
So Paul's just got to be strong with the rock. More Javon Freeman Liberty.
Yeah, you feel like just get a shot, right? Don't turn it over. And here they are again, right into the teeth of the defense.
Give UConn credit, forcing 21 turnovers on the road. You don't have your superstars, so what do? You lean on your defense.
UConn going to slow it down, work a little clock here with under 2 minutes to play. Cole on the drive, cannot finish, rebound out of bounds. It will stay with the Huskies.
Boy, it looked like Cole had an easy layup. Good penetration from R.J. Cole. Take another look at it. A little sidestep. Not sure if Ongana got a piece of that. They're going to take a look at who this is off of. And DePaul was saying it was off Isaiah Whaley.
Under 2 minutes, you can go to the monitor. And we'll see one more time how close this was. I'm not sure if they had whistled there, or maybe Weems' foot was out of bounds when he tried to save it.
Tough to tell there. Not sure when the ref blew the whistle and made the decision on who it was out of.
It was almost like from that angle, the players were already reacting to the call, so you wouldn't think it was Weems' foot being on the baseline.
The official's already blowing the whistle, it looks like, as he's throwing the ball off of Weems.
Yeah, I mean, his feet at this point look like they're in bounds, and like you said, hands already going in the air. The official, so I'm wondering if the carom prior to this is where the ball had landed out of bounds.
I think maybe the carom hit the baseline. That's what I think they're looking at. I think the official saw the ball hit the baseline, and then he blew the whistle. So the question is whether or not Whaley hit it for it to hit the baseline.
Right, prior to the ball hitting the baseline. So just before this, whoever touched it there, it would be out on. It's going to be hard to tell, from this angle. Whaley was there going for it. You had Weems there as well. And, of course, if you're going to overturn it, you got to have inconclusive video evidence. And I'm not sure, based on the replays we have,
nothing definitive
that you can turn it over, and it will stay with UConn. So the Huskies leading it by 2. And they've got the ball out of bounds. And we'll see if they continue to go to Martin, who's been the catalyst offensively as far as opportunities down the stretch. And they do. Nice cut and a nice finish for Martin.
And who sets the back screen? Tyler Pauly, the best shooter, so you don't want to help off him. That gives Tyrese Martin all the room to go cut and finish. Great execution from UConn.
He had a double-double when these two teams met last month. He's got 16 tonight. Onginda trying to keep it alive inside. He cannot. And the Huskies have the ball, 4-point lead, and they can take it under 1 minute to play here.
You got to tip your cap to UConn's defense. I mean, it's been just so rock solid in crunch time.
22 turnovers for DePaul. Martin on the drive. He went early in the shot clock, earlier than I would have thought, but it doesn't matter because he gets the finish. He's been clutch, 18 points now, and a 7-0 UConn run has given them a 59-53 lead, 58 seconds to go.
But how about Tyrese Martin? No James Bouknight, no problem. Great execution on the baseline out of bounds for the catch and finish. And then how about the drive and the left-handed finish? Have a night, Tyrese Martin.
The Rocket Mortgage Super Bowl Squares sweepstakes is back. Every time the score changes, someone will win $50,000. Touchdowns, field goals, extra points, 50 G's. Plus, $2 $500,000 prizes. Put it toward a dream home. One way to enter, 2 ways to win. Squares is back. Sign up for free at RocketMortgageSquares.com. Rocket Mortgage, official mortgage sponsor of Super Bowl 55.
Who's balling without Bouknight? It's Tyrese Martin. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals rather, and an assist. The stat line is good.
Yeah, so often in the crunch time, you need to have a go-to guy, and without Bouknight, it has been Tyrese Martin. Dan Hurley showing the confidence he has in Martin.
Got to go quick if you're DePaul. And they're going to say over and back. I thought maybe Adams got a hand on it. He did not. And that's the 23rd turnover now.
It's not complicated what has gone wrong for DePaul down the stretch. They can't even get a shot up right now. I mean, they have just turned the ball over time and time again down the stretch. Unfortunate.
Yeah, clear there that Adams did not get a hand on it. Went off of Moore. Looks like right now they're going to play it out and not foul. You got about a 20-second difference here between the shot clock and game clock. So really, UConn can bleed a lot of this down before they have to put one up.
Boy, with how UConn shot free throws, I don't know if I agree with this decision.
And a kick ball.
Oh, man, it resets the clock to 20.
Now you really back him into a corner.
Yeah, you see Coach Lato now signaling she got a foul.
UConn had 6-point lead. And I would say if you make free throws, you win it. That's been a trouble point for them tonight at 12 of 22, but this guy's a pretty decent free throw shooter. R.J. Cole at 78%. He's 3 of 4 this evening, and he's got 11 points in the game.
Boy, so unfortunate. You decide to play it out and not foul, and then you get a kicked ball that resets it at 20, so now you have to foul. Tough break for DePaul.
I like what Cole has done tonight with Book Night out. He's really led the offense and stepped it up offensively, something you and I talked about earlier that he needed to do from a guy that's used to scoring before he came to the UConn program.
Yeah, he's got a scorer's mentality, but he's had to transition into being a kind of a run-the-team point guard. But ultimately, he's done a really good job on the ball defensively. He's got 4 steals, and he's just sped up the backcourt for DePaul. So R.J. Cole's had a nice night.
7-point lead, and Martin forces a turnover, and that will do it. In fact, DePaul not even going to foul here. UConn backs it out, and how about this? Heartbreak loss to begin conference play at home against Creighton in overtime. 3 consecutive road wins now, and UConn going to move their league record to 4-1, 7-1 overall. They've won 3 in a row on the road. And Dan Hurley and Dave Lato shake hands for Coach Lato. He and his DePaul Blue Demons looking for their first conference victory.
Pretty impressive evening defensively for UConn, and that's where their identity lies. But that guy right there, Tyrese Martin, had himself a great game in the absence of James Bouknight.
Quick turnaround for DePaul, who heads to Georgetown on Wednesday night, and very much in the conversation, a Big East champion, the UConn Huskies, who have got themselves at 4-1. With Nick Baugh, I'm Adam Alexander. Congratulations to UConn. They win it on the road over DePaul.